Daryl from Headsight Inc. Today we're going to be installing a 5-sensor system on a Drago corn head with a CR New Holland combine. Before getting started, remember to perform the 5 safety steps. Install the header lock, remove the ignition key, set the parking brake, disconnect all header drive shafts, and always remember to perform all header and combine manufacturer safety precautions. The tools we will be needing today are a socket set, Allen wrench set, wrenches, impact driver, cordless impact, pliers, side cuts, wire fish, electrical tape, a unibit or a hole saw kit, drill bits, and a drill. The parts needed for today's installation are the insight box, the main wiring harness, the attaching wiring harnesses, the mounting brackets, the attaching hardware, and the sensors. The first step in today's install is attach the sensor to the pocket bracket. We install the front edge of the sensor into the narrow end of the pocket bracket and attach at the rear with a hex bolt. Then insert the carriage bolt down through the bracket. Slide the sensor all the way forward and tighten your hardware. Assemble the remaining sensors in the same manner. The next step is to choose our sensor locations. We prefer to be as out and as far forward as possible. In this install, you'll see we mounted one row in because of the short outer snout. After we've installed the outer sensor, we can install the inner sensors evenly spaced across the head. Now that we determine the sensor spacing, we need to remove the bubble tip and install the sensor. Now that we've tightened our hardware, we can install the rest the same. The next step is to install the wiring at the rear of the head. Today's install, we have an insight box. So first step is to install the insight bracket to the frame. We bore one hole and use a self-tapping screw to fasten it. Then we install the insight box to the bracket with the hardware provided. Then we can install the header connector bracket to the frame by boring 2 holes and attaching the self-tapping screws. As you can see, we already have the harness installed with this connector installed to the insight box and then attaching this connector to the header bracket. Now let me show you how to install the light wiring. The first step is to locate our gray wiring harnesses for the lights. Then we strip back our wiring and crimp on first the blue connectors together, which is the ground, and it'll go in location A of our connector. Then we can do the left, which is our power wire, which goes into B, and our right, which goes into connector C. Make sure you use our weather pack crimper when you're doing these connections. The next step is to lay out the appropriate length extension harnesses to the rows. Then we can route them to the closest one to our insight connector box, being left outer, left center, center, right center, and right outer. Now that we got the wiring harness installed, we need to remove the black connector to make routing of the harness easier. First, we remove the wiring latch. Remove each wire from the connector. Now that we're ready to install the connector, we flare each of the locks out on each connector. Then we remember to install the black wire into A and making sure it latches on each wire when it's inserted. Then we install the latch clip. Now that we have the extension harnesses installed to the main harnesses and the connectors removed, we route them all through this hole down this channel. After we come out of the channel, we attach in the existing holes with the bolts and clamps provided and routing them to their appropriate location. From the back of the head, we route our wiring up through this channel. Depending on the location you chose we may have to drill this hole to route our wiring through. Once we have our wiring routed through this hole, we can zip tie our harness to keep it out of the turning shaft. The next step in our wiring is to drill 4 holes with either a unibit or a hole saw in the 4 locations I'll point to. We fish the wire through these holes and connect our sensor wiring. Then we can attach a clamp straight up from the sensor and 1 clamp on each side of the connector with the connector latch facing up, holding the connector together. As we come down, we can put a clamp on the outside of this one and pull it tight and clamp it. And then on the outside of this hole doing the same. As we proceed on down back, we can push the remaining extra harness up into this snout and clamp it here. And then we can zip tie on the back side back here around the bracket here, and then we'll have to bore a hole in this bracket and zip tie here to keep it out of the gathering chains. This completes our 5 sensor install on our Drago head. Don't forget to perform your calibrations on the header and the combine. But remember, your kit may vary. If you have any questions, please contact tech support or refer to your manual. Thanks for watching and have a safe harvest.